Hi, I'm so sorry it has been a while since I have uploaded a video. I have been really poorly over Christmas, but I have been thinking about what type of video I would make for you. And I thought, why don't I make a power of makeup video? Now, over in Nikkie Tutorials and M at My Pale Skin have both done a power of makeup video. However, I thought I would make one with a difference. I am going to use camouflage makeup, and I'm going to do a power of camouflage makeup video and use it to cover my scars to show you how camouflage makeup can really help with your confidence if you have bad scarring, or you can just use it every now and again to cover your scars if you don't want them to be the centre of attention. Now, I don't use my camouflage makeup very often. I use it basically high days and holidays when I want to distract from my scarring because of either going to a nice do where I'm wearing a more revealing dress, or at something where I really want to make an effort. I better first of all tell you though how I came to having the scars that I do. This one here is quite keloidal, and so it's quite raised. I had my thyroid taken out because I became very, very poorly. I had hypothyroidism and I lost 3 stone whilst I was pregnant with my first son. So I was really, really poorly, so it needed to come out. And they took it out, but unfortunately it's become very keloidal, which means it's very raised. I am waiting for some scar therapy, and I'm going to be having injections, which basically, when a scar becomes keloidal, your body is trying to over repair, so it's making skin, and then it just doesn't stop keeping repairing, so the scar becomes quite raised. So I'm waiting for injections which are going to be injected into the scar, and it stops the body from trying to keep on doing the repair cycle, and therefore it will flatten the scar. The other scar I have is this one down the centre of my chest, and that was from when I was a baby. I was born with a genetic condition called tuberous sclerosis, and that can in some instances cause heart tumours. Now, when I was born, the doctors didn't think I had a tumour. They thought I had aortic stenosis, which is where there's problems with the plumbing of the heart, and the heart becomes engrossed with blood in one area and becomes misshapen. So they opened me up and realised it was a tumour and not aortic stenosis, and they said because of the placement of the tumour it wasn't possible to remove it. So I was sewn back up again, given to my mum, and they basically didn't think I would survive. But here I am, nearly 36 years later. Still here, still stubborn as hell. But the problem was, because of the issues with my surgery as a baby, my chest didn't repair properly. And in 2005, we found out I had a tumour in the joint here between my sternum and my collarbone. I had several surgeries to remove the joint, and they tried replacing it with sections of bone from my leg. They tried using muscle tissue, but unfortunately the false joint kept breaking and kept snapping, and the pain was horrendous. And in the end they decided that the best thing to do would be to completely remove my collarbone, which they have, which is why I can do that, and you can see I have no collarbone. But it's left me with fairly florid, quite obvious scarring, and I've had some pretty unpleasant, I've said in previous videos, I've had some pretty unpleasant comments about my scarring. So, like I said, at times I prefer to cover them up. Now, I used to use, I used to have a type of camouflage makeup a long time ago, and the old camouflage makeups were great with some people, but because my skin is so fair, they couldn't get a correct match. I ended up having to blend colours, and it was faffy and it didn't really work. So I have more recently been to see the Camouflage makeup nurse at the hospital. I have got new products and they're brilliant, and she was very impressed by how well they covered on my skin. So I will show you what these products are and show you how they work. The first item is the Camouflage makeup. This is Veil. This is the product that best matches my skin. But if you were to go and have your skin matched, you might not find the Veil products are right for your skin, but they happen to be right for mine, and I can get them on prescription, which is amazing. Now that is the pot of makeup. Now I have used it about half a dozen times to cover my scarring, and you can see how little is gone out of that jar. I mean, it's basically untouched. So a jar will last you ages, and it's got a 3-year expiry date on it. The other product that you get, which I have just made a mess with, trying to lift it up, so I'll just show you the lid, is the Veil finishing powder. Now this is translucent powder which you use to bake it, and it comes in a pot like this, which I'll try not to spill all over the camera, and so that's brilliant. And that sets the makeup so it doesn't smear. The other products you will need are brushes. This one is to put the product on. This is a cheap kabuki brush that to put the powder on with, and you will need a sponge. Now the lady at the hospital suggested a natural sponge because she says it blended better. However, I don't see why you couldn't use a beauty blender, so I will show you how to apply it. I shall manoeuvre the camera a bit and we'll have a go. Hopefully you've got a good view there and you can see what I'm about to do. I have got a little bit of the Veil cream on my hands just to warm it up a bit, and I'm going to use the viewfinder here. You kind of go in like a cross-hatching kind of technique to put the cream on. Now this will take the colour out of my scars, but it will not help with, unfortunately, it won't help with the contour of the scars too much. Unfortunately, if you see my scars at different angles, you will see that I have a scar because my scar's raised. So unfortunately it will still cast shadows, but we can take most of the floridness out with the makeup. Now the other wonderful thing about this product is it is smear proof, and it is also waterproof, so you can wear it swimming. Now I don't tend to use it swimming because either I'm outdoors in my wetsuit doing outdoor swimming and therefore you don't see it, or well, I'm just not that bothered really. Just cover those little bits there as well since I can see them. I really am not that bothered about people seeing my scars, but I know some people are. All I would say is everybody is beautiful. You know, it doesn't matter if you are a size 0 or a size 18 or a size 30. There are parts of your body that are more beautiful than anybody else's. And we all have our little bits that we maybe don't like as much as others, but we are beautiful. The human body is amazing, and I just wish I could reinforce that idea into people's heads that they... Don't get me onto the subject because I'll just witter on, but you're beautiful. It doesn't matter what size you are, what colour your skin is, what shape your body is, whether you're tall, whether you're short, you're beautiful. And that's basically it. You're just beautiful. And anybody who says otherwise is talking rubbish. So there, be told, you're beautiful. There you go. Anyway, once you have get off my soapbox. Once you have applied the product, you then need to get your sponge, which is, this one is a little bit damp, and you want to use it to blend out the edges because you want a nice transition between the colour of the makeup and your own skin. So you want to blend it out so that it you can't see any harsh lines between the product and your skin. So I'm going to carry on blending this out, and I'll be right back. Okay, I've now used the sponge, I've blended out all the edges, and the next thing to do is to bake it with the fixing powder. So I've got my Nikkie brush, and I've got my finishing powder, which gets everywhere. Vale, if you're listening to this, please make your finishing powder easier to access so you don't get it all over the place. It might just be me though. I wouldn't put it past me to cover everything in Veil powder. Anyway, get a bit on your brush. Now you want to go a little, how should I say? Don't be stingy with this. You want to get it on your skin and let it draw in as much as it needs to set it. So I would go slightly over than under on this. So I'm going to just tap it on, and like I said, at the moment we're just going to set it. So you want to tap it on and just leave it. You're going to look really powdery for a moment, but you just apply it and let it bake and draw as much of the powder it needs to into the makeup to set it. Okay, it's now had about 5-7 minutes to soak in, and you take your soft brush again, Nikkie brush or powder brush, and you take off the excess, and I can see billowing clouds of powder at the moment, but yeah, just brush off this. I'm just going to use my little mirror so I can see that I have brushed it all off, and there you go. Like I said, it is not going to hide, because if I move you can see that my scars aren't flat. It doesn't hide the contours of my scars, but it does hide the it does hide the colour. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go into the daylight. I'm going to take some photos and pop them on the end of the video. I'm also going to take this back off again and take some photographs so you can see the difference from a distance, I think, and also the difference in daylight, because I think both of those will massively help you see how different that it is without. So there you go. I hope that has helped. I hope that can show you that there are ways of covering scars should you have a scar that you wish to make less noticeable. But I also hope that you've realised that you don't have to cover your scars. You know, there are life stories. They're also the battle scars we have from things that made us better. You know, I have my thyroid scar because I had my thyroid out, and I would rather have a thyroid scar than being very, very, very poorly still. And I probably wouldn't be here if I hadn't had my thyroid out when I had. You know, I have a big scar across my shoulder from where I had my clavicle removed. But again, I'd rather have the scar than the pain I was in. So I hope it's helped. You're all beautiful. I love you all, and I hope to get another video up fairly soon. I will. I have been remiss, I know, and I'm really sorry. But I love you all, and I'll see you soon. Bye.